Eastern Time, 5 Pacific Time in the regional semifinals, aka the Sweet 16 volleyball tournament. Team leaves tomorrow, and to discuss the San Diego match and this weekend's 2 sweeps over Western Kentucky and Loyola Chicago, I will introduce Craig Skinner.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to be here. Appreciate visiting with you guys, but looking forward to being in Palo Alto on Thursday and continuing to play our season. This season in general, I would describe as in 3 words: leadership, growth, and reward. But proud of this group and one of the more rewarding teams to get to this point so far in the season, but still hungry at the same time. So. Great opportunity for us and 15 other teams this weekend, so can't wait to get after it.
Questions? Momentum has been so big in your sport, and to be able to get those 2 sweeps, how big is that leading into heading out to Palo Alto?
Well, our team feels confident. They feel like they're performing at a level, but still not satisfied at the same time. But momentum is the name of our sport, and every time the whistle is blown, there's a chance to change momentum. And I think our team is hungry for those chances individually and as a group. Regardless of opponent, if you're able to sweep twice in the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament, it says a lot about the level of play. But also the demeanor of your team, and the leadership again has been very solid for us.
Coach, a lot of times in sports, coaches approach non-conference schedules differently. You put some beef in your non-conference schedule and a lot of experience, Final Four experience, championship experience. How has that prepared your team? Even though it's a few months ago now, has it prepared your team for the tournament?
Yeah, definitely. We've talked a lot about that, but our schedule was tough. We always try and schedule tough. This was arguably maybe the toughest one we've had. It definitely, we talk about that as much in practice as we do after matches. And, is this the level in practice today that's going to get us to the Final Four? Is this the level in practice today that's going to be able to beat the teams we played in September? So we're always, looking at the past to see, how it's going to dictate what our future can be. And that schedule was definitely difficult, but it certainly is paying off now.
Matches that didn't come out the way that you had hoped now seem to be turning into winning situations. What have you done to kind of get over that?
Well, you learn a lot in those matches. I mean, there's certain ways we were lining up that we tweaked a little bit. There's certain personnel that weren't playing a whole lot during those matches that we, after practice got going, we needed to get them in the match more. There's more continuity. We had, it's well documented how many injuries and situations we've had this year to overcome. So the combination of learning about ourselves, overcoming adversity, knowing the level that you have to compete and serve, serving is a big part of our sport, but playing against those teams, you have to take care of those 3 things and to give yourself a chance. And then it's executing when the match is on the line. And so, we learned a lot. And if we went out and swept everybody in September, I don't know if we'd be in this situation right now and win the league again and going off into the Sweet 16.
You believed in this team since the beginning when we first met them, but when did you realize that this team was starting to finally turn that switch?
I think they earn your trust, and we knew we had talent. We knew we had the things that we've always felt are important: good ball control, good setting, arms that can terminate the ball. I would say probably the stretch of the season where we believed is when all of a sudden after pre-conference we have 2 starters out for 4 matches, and we win those 4 matches. And when you do that, your team starts to look around and say, hey, we are pretty good. My role does matter. Mark talked about it. People have to prepare for the next opportunity and taking care of themselves. And the players that were not playing that got those opportunities, prepared for them, produced, all of a sudden now they believe in themselves. And then the people next to them are like, oh, they're pretty good. So I think that stretch kind of showed our team that, there's a lot in the tank and what more can we get throughout the season.
Craig, in some of those early marquee matches against obviously high-level competition, it looked like y'all had a hard time closing out sets. That doesn't seem to be the problem now. How did you all solve that?
Well, it's belief, confidence. It's ball control, receiving serve, and also serving tough against that team. Teams like that. And the execution is the ball controlled and the setter making the right choice, and the attackers believing themselves to kill the ball. If they can't kill the ball, then extend the rally and not just send the ball out of bounds and give them points. So we don't give away points nearly as much as we did early on. Our ball control is better because we have changed our passing lineup. And Emma, I think has grown a lot as a setter and understanding when and why to get the right person the ball at the right time.
We all knew how important Emma and Ajani and Reagan were at the beginning of the year. Can you tell us a little bit about how some of the other people who might have stepped up and what you expect of them coming up?
It's there's a lot of people, and I thought about this on the way over here. One of my favorite quotes about leadership is, "Your actions speak so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying." Drew Brees is the one I heard say that, but there's so many people that I could point to doing those things before practice. Emma, Ajani taking care of her body, getting ready to play. Adana Rollins coming in before practice every day and receiving serve. Eleanor Bevan stepping up the last few weeks after not being recognized as an all-conference player when she had an all-conference level season. Erin Lamb working through her injuries and now performing at a level that she hasn't played. Our competition in the middle spot, I make it go on and on. Bella Bell performing the way she is, and Elise Getzinger, spot she's taken, has been the best leader since that point in time. And then someone like Audrey Whitworth and Raya Walker, who are two of the best liberos that aren't in the libero jersey, and they're playing on our side of the net. So, there's a lot of examples, but several people.
Coach, when you got here, is the fan following something that you expected to happen, or has it surprised you? Was that your vision the whole time? You see it a lot in these tournament games, but really throughout the season, fans have really caught on to what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I walked in Memorial Coliseum the first day, and my dream was to fill it. And there was about 75 people. I've said the story many times against Wright State. We won 15-13 in the fifth, and you couldn't hear the crickets. It was nothing. I still dream big. My dream is that our sport is covered like this all the time. And that there's that much interest in our sport that people want to know more about Audrey Whitworth and Bella Bell and Ajani Teeler. My dream is that you're waiting outside Memorial Coliseum to get a ticket. But saying that, the growth has been significant. And this year has been a record year in our sport for viewership, for attendance, for all that stuff, not just in Kentucky, but across the country. And there's never been a better time in the sport of volleyball. And we're starting to get out of the shadow of football, where it's only football in the fall, and then also there's volleyball and soccer. Now it's starting to take some national, people's eyes are getting on it that weren't in the past.
Early season schedule, it's one thing now to say, oh, that really helped us. It's another thing to go through it and lose matches. How tough was it to keep your players focused on this will help us?
That's a good question, because you go through some doubt. You go through some doubt as a coach. Why did I do this? What the hell are we doing? Why are we playing these matches? Do I have the right people in there? Does she believe in what we're doing? Or is there buy-in? Players are like, I'm not sure I'm as good as I thought I was. So that's where the culture of the program has to take over, and the leadership and just, the leaders were struggling at times. Like, am I doing enough? And when you're in the middle of it, you don't feel like what you're doing is benefiting anybody. And so it's literally just keep going. Don't stop. If you believe in what we're doing, you believe in the program, and I have to do that sometimes. I got to, hey, is what we're doing the right thing? And you just have to take each day like it's a championship. And if we take tomorrow as a championship, we take today as a championship, we have a chance. If you look at the grand picture, oh my gosh, our record is 500, we're not very good, then you're going to trip over yourself. So the leadership was a big piece of that. They just kept trucking along. They kept trudging. Everybody can lead when the sun is shining. I would say most people lead when the sun is shining, but when it's raining and cloudy, that's when true leaders emerge, and we've had several people do that this year.
Greg, you talk about how the sport is growing and how the fan support is growing across the country. How has that helped you locally in terms of your recruiting?
It's cool. There's a few young players in the state that have some ability that I haven't seen since I've been here. Excited to recruit them down the road. Can't talk about them yet because they're too young. The level of play in Lexington and Northern Kentucky, and even, just going out to Breathitt County and seeing the passion and energy level of those people out there in the fall is inspiring. And I think that's what we challenge our players with all the time. Who are you inspiring today? And can you play in a way that someone wants to run out of the stands and come and join you? But that's happening, and it's a very exciting time.
When we first saw Madison and Lily, we all wondered maybe if we'd see another player like that. Did you, from the moment recruitment to where Emma has become now, did you see that she could be that type of player?
Keith, that's a good question too. I mean, Madison in 7th grade was the best player in our camp. You know, so there's outliers. She was an outlier that way. Emma was a player that I always caught myself at tournaments wanting to go back and watch her play. Like I go watch her, then I go watch someone else, and I'm like, I got to go see this Grome kid again. Because she doesn't have the stature that Madison Lily does. Madison Lily's, 5'11" or whatever, and Emma's 5'8", 5'9". Emma touched 9'11" though the other day. 9 feet 11 inches. That's pretty crazy for someone that height. But she is a baller, and that kid can do anything on the court. She can pass, she can hit, she can dig, she can block, which you wouldn't think because she can serve. And so maybe she was more of an acquired taste than instant, this kid is a stud, but the job that she has done stepping into those shoes is remarkable. And the fact that she's even gotten better this year is another level of testament to her passion and desire to be a great player.
Greg, what are your impressions of San Diego?
San Diego is one of the best volleyball teams in the country right now. I mean, they play the game at an elite level. They don't make errors. They have a really good setter. Speaking of setters, Gabby Blossom, who transferred from Penn State, was a teammate of Adana Rollins. I have a transfer from Indiana, Brianna Edwards, who's a great player, and Grace Frawling on the right side. I mean, everyone is good. They all do play the game well. They have great IQ of the game. So it's a tough match. I mean, a very similar style in a way. We have good setting, good ball control. We don't make a whole lot of mistakes, so I think it's a good matchup.
Greg, you are a national championship coach. There are only a couple other ones on campus, and yet you still are in the shadows. Do you feel like you're getting enough? Maybe that's the wrong way to ask it. What would you like to see the administration do to help promote your program a little bit more?
John, you're trying to get me in trouble. Look, I mean, I don't care if you win a national championship or it's the first year out of the gate, you want more. And as an athlete, you want more. As a coach, you want more. And, you want to do this, you want to do that. And, we're getting there. We're gradually growing the program. We're going to the next level. Looking forward to Memorial Coliseum being renovated. That's going to be a huge, asset for us, our program, women's basketball, gymnastics. We're always fighting and scrapping. Is there some grand thing that we have to compete? I mean, obviously we've won championships to this point, so there's not an overhaul that needs to be done.
Anything else? All right, thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.